Hi, good afternoon to all of you. Okay, let's start with this analysis bull mock cat 8. So how was this the test 8 number test as far as your score or level of difficulty or your perception is? Was the test moderate, easy, difficult, something just? So how was the test? Alex, moderate, must be from France. Alex, actually we all are from India. Snigdha, moderate. My accuracy, your accuracy. Okay, Alex, 50%. Okay, Alex, just joking, jokes apart. Okay, so your accuracy was 50%, fine, but it should go up to 60 to 70% at least if you want to get into IIMS. Okay, if I look at the number of questions, difficulty wise, this test had 4 easy questions only, and moderate 23 and difficult 7. So if I look at the attempt, minimum attempt or the maximum attempt should be at least out of 4. I would recommend that I would advise that we should get all these 4 questions correct. Moderate, out of moderate, let's say if I get 60% correct, then 6 to 12, so approximately 15 questions. 4 plus 15, 19, and out of 7 difficult question, it should be minimum 2 to 3. So all in all, 21 to 23 questions correct. This should be our target. Otherwise, also in other exams, other rest of the mock cats. And the person who got rank 1 in this scored 90 marks. He got 90 marks, and his percentile was, his or her percentile was 99.74. So 90 marks means he got approximately 30 questions correct. I would say 30 questions correct. So we are targeting at least 23, so as to get at least 90%, because without 90 or 95 we will not be able to get into good institute. So am I clear, guys? So target should be this. So let's see what we have in this mock. Few questions I have picked up. So first is grammar based question, and people have marked this question, test takers have marked this question as moderate. I would not say it is the question was really difficult or it was easy, but point is it is moderate. But let's say, so did you get this question correct, guys? Surya, Vaibhav, Ankit, Alex, Zakir, Prashant, Snigdha. So okay, the question is based on primarily it's based on tense. If I talk about B, so everyone agrees, everyone agrees, though such a strike or bandh or is used to whenever we join two different subjects using conjunction or, the subject will affect the nearest verb, or verb will be controlled by the nearest subject. So bandh, which is singular, it has to be means. Strike or bandh means. And coming on to the C sentence, but all that didn't seem to bother the leftist party and India, the original sinners and other champions of culture of strikes. This question has, so it cannot be did because the entire story is in present tense, so it has to be does. Now here, while analyzing, everything will seem to be very easy, but while taking test originally real time, there we are literally tensed, we are exhausted also, nervous also, and even simple questions, simple errors will not be able to identify the simple errors. And the E part, so, and the success of the bandh is no measure of organizers' popularity or people's response to issues by which it is called. Issues by which, by is used for the agent, so we cannot use by is wrong preposition here, it has to be on. Issues on which it is called, so issues on. Am I clear, guys? I just picked up this question, was not necessary for this session, but I just picked up just to remind us that grammar based questions are generally very simple, but sometimes we are not able to find even simple errors. Now coming out of this RC, primarily the two RCs were based on education, what kind of education system should be, and what we should promote among kids, and what should be taught, what shouldn't be taught. So primarily two passages based on education and psychology. Passage, if I talk about passage, is moderate in terms of understanding, easy to moderate, easier for us to understand. But if I look at the structure, so initially the author was a teacher. While writing this, he was a teacher, and when he used to go to his institution, so he found that kids were not interested in learning. They were sitting just for the sake of sitting, for sake of attending the classes, and there were no expressions on the faces of kids, etc. So he realized something is wrong somewhere, as per the first paragraph. Second paragraph says that then he discovered the awful truth, and we really don't want to know how people learn at all. So he realized that initially we are not interested in that what should be the way in order to teach kids, and we should know. The first line is very important as far as this passage is concerned. It gives us the clue about the essence of the content. It all started with learning about learning. So he wanted to modify because he had some experiences, not so good experiences while teaching. So he thought of improving the teaching style or the methodology. He came up with various ideas. He has discussed these few ideas with us. And sometimes the second paragraph, second line, sometimes I feel that schools around us are the world's greatest example of legend of emperor's new clothes. Means emperor's new clothes, that time is now over, the monarchy is now gone, emperor's new clothes would be of no use. So indirectly saying that the education system is overall redundant, and we are not teaching substantial things to the kids, and kids that's why they are not showing any kind of interest in teaching whatever we are. Third paragraph, question number 55 was difficult. So third paragraph, in our school kids use other kids, instruments, adults, etc. Their chief tool is curiosity. Now here is the important thread, is their chief tool is curiosity, which drives them to find or master, understand, etc., etc., whatever we're trying to teach them. Watching children teaches me something new every day. So that is a contrast here. Means he used to watch kids teaching, learning something, and he used to get something out of kids rather than kids getting something out of the system or the teachers. He used to get every time he used to get something new out of the environment there in the school or college, wherever he was. Now, one of the examples he has, one of the sentences, people generally say that let the children be free to choose their activities and they'll always take the path of least resistance. So he's trying to make us understand that why we try to curb curiosity among the kids, or in any kid particularly, because he says that if you let children free, loose and free to choose, make them free to choose their activities, they'll always follow the path of least resistance. Means they'll not try to get them into put themselves into struggle or hardship, etc. They'll never develop a character to face hardship. Now the third paragraph, and the second last paragraph would say most of the time kids will choose path of greatest resistance. Means he's refuting the allegation or the misconception among people. So he's actually he wants to reform this teaching methodology. So he has given example: the recluse will try to mix up with the people, gregarious will try to be alone, etc. Gregarious means sociable. And one more example which he has given. Then there is a bit about being well-rounded. You have got to force them to learn little about lots of things. Children need to be exposed at school. If you leave them, they'll become too narrow. Means we should teach them most of the things instead of teaching them only one and making them specialize in one only. Now last paragraph, first of all, there is arrogance of it. Means we are completely arrogant and ignorant at the same time, because some panel of experts could choose out the vast ocean of human knowledge everyone needs to imbibe. The very same people who would recommend that we should go for we should try to give maximum exposure to our kids, the same will complain about overexposure. So he says that even parents or the elders are not clear about the goals of education, so we cannot stick to any particular path. So he says that actually specialization is good because narrowness is fine for someone because he's asking us the few questions. Let's say if I take Mozart, if I take Einstein, etc. So they were all specialized in their chosen area of work. So point is, narrowness is fine. It is not that there should be a balance between what is to be taught and what not to be, but if any the prime driving force should be curiosity. If the children are curious about many things, let them be. If the children, any particular child is curious about only one of the aspects, let it be. So that is how the passage goes. Now let's, if I'm let's say if you have understood the little bit of gist, so let's see what we have. Question number 54, a very interesting question. What roles do teachers play in the current school that author is associated with? So guys, just rush through this question. So did you get this question correct? Most of us would go with, I think, directors. Prashant, you picked up fourth. Now passage says that, author says that, he stresses that, he emphasizes that we should not try to curb their curiosity. We should not try to play the role of a director. Director actually will control every situation while moving any movie, making any movie, or whatever he is directing. So we'll control each and everything. On contrary, passage say that we should not try to control the kids. So fourth is Prashant, wrong. Am I clear, Prashant? Heroes, they are not at all heroes. Kids are not really interested. Initially the passage opens with this, that initially kids were not interested in whatever he used to teach. So teachers cannot be taken as heroes. Villains, a little out of track. Yeah, they should be, kids should be free. So they should only guide a little, just take care of that. If in any case the help is required, in any case kids ask for the help, then teachers should come forward and help them. Otherwise, you just first guide them and let the situation be as per the thought process of the students. So when you are playing a little role in guiding them, because ultimately if you try to get too much into their learning, it means you will be curbing again their curiosity, which author is totally against. So we generally play as per the passage, author is associated with the minor actors. Teachers play in the current school at the author is associated with minor actors. Am I clear, guys? So now 55th question based, it checks your vocabulary, because we cannot answer this question until unless we know the meaning of ungainly kids. So ungainly kid would be one who is very lazy, not interested in physical, sports, athletics, etc. Now based on your understanding the ideas explained in the passage, what would you expect ungainly kid would do? Let's say now if you are not till now if you were not aware of the meaning of this ungainly, this phrase, but now if you know, let's say, and if you get were not able to get this question correct, so now let's try this question. Ungainly kid, though the one who is not interested in sports. Now passage says that people believe that kid will pick up the path of least resistance, but author or the passage says that they will pick up the path of where the resistance is the most, or the challenging aspect. So anybody who is not interested in playing sports or games, etc., will go, as per the passage, should play sports all day. Outdoors may or may not be so physically involved or something. Fishing in the school pond may or may not be physically arduous or something. So we'll play ungainly, the person who is not at all interested in sports, but as per the passage understanding, he will play sports all day. Am I clear, guys? Amit, Ajay, but there's nothing, no intelligence involved in this question. Until unless we know the meaning of ungainly, there's no point that we can attempt this question. Otherwise, we'll all pick up, third choice. Likewise, few of you picked up. So sometimes we go and we ask questions a little bit of vocab based and little out of track context. These kind of questions will check your ability to draw inferences and your ability to let's say if you are in touch with regular newspapers, then right now ungainly word seems to be little out of track or unusual, but it's not unusual, it's not rare, it is frequently used. will come across while reading newspaper or magazines. Let's see what we have in the next slide. So again, I picked up the next passage. So primarily, during my analysis, I just picked up RCs and the misfit ones. So primarily, we all find problems while attempting these. So now the next passage, it talks about the Chinese economy, the strength shown by the Chinese economy over the period of time, and how it has grown and it has started dictating the world. It has taken over the world, in spite of the fact that it has lent money to the America, in spite of the fact that Americans are earning more than their Chinese counterpart. So very interesting read, very interesting passage. So how was the passage when you attempted this? Yes, guys, Amrita, Snigdha, Mr. Dubey, Mehak, Sachin, Zakir. So okay guys, let me give you the structure of this passage, and I have picked up few passage. Yeah, it was a little long, but I would not say that it was very tough. No doubt questions, one or two questions were tricky. So it says that so far, fastest growing economy in the world has managed to avoid the kind of crisis which rest of the world faced during 1997-98. China was not at all affected by this crisis. What Chinese did say, so they wanted to attract foreign capital, so they insisted on instead of taking direct, instead of borrowing, they took the route of direct foreign investment. Now we are also into this, instead of borrowing money, because foreign direct investment is fine, because they'll come with their own tools and implements and ideas and set up their plants, factories, etc. So China also adopted this political strategy. So they requested foreigners to build factories in Chinese enterprise zone, and this idea we have copied from special economic zones in India. We have taken this from China, because in India copyright means right to copy. It's our right to copy, and wherever we find anything interesting, we go and copy that. So even without the CCP model, cut, copy, paste, even our degrees will not be able to complete our degrees. So first passage is how what strategy was adopted by China to strengthen its economy. Cautious yet after a year of insatiability and unused to the panoply. Do we know the meaning of the word panoply? Panoply is the group of credit facilities, array of, we have invest. Chinese households save unusually high proportion in contrast to America. So that's why he has given that the Americans no doubt are earning more, but they save nothing. And on the other hand, they earn $2,000, but they save a lot. Chinese people save a lot, and because of their surplus, they started the surplus grew, and they were able to finance American needs. On the other hand, American people, they love spending, they hate saving, and China got this opportunity, saw this opportunity, and Chinese economy, Chinese people, they came up with the idea of why not to satisfy American needs of American people, consumers, because they are kind of, in true sense, they were consumer, they still are. So they started producing. So this is how Chinese got into manufacturing. As we all know, in reality also, China is well ahead of us in terms of manufacturing. We are ahead of China in terms of service industry. So kind of how China got into this. So they realized that Americans want goods from outside, and America was also interested in, they found this offer very attractive, the cheap Chinese goods. So they started importing. That's how China was able to grow with surplus, and finally started financing America. Now till third paragraph everything is fine, but second last and last, here the little change in storyline is there. Perhaps one reflection that we have here is 100 years, the first stage of globalization. Many investors thought there was similarly symbiotic relationship between world's financial center, Britain, continental Europe, most dynamic industrial economy. the economy was Germany. Then as on today, there is fine line between symbiosis. The last few words are important. Second last paragraph I'm reading right now. Symbiosis and rivalry. Rivalry is enmity. Symbiosis mutual interdependence. Last paragraph. One important lesson of the history is that major wars can arise. Now there is a dramatic twist. This major twist in the story. And right now, talking right from the starting, we were talking about economy and how Chinese economy grew over the period of time. And last few lines, he's talking about a war, enmity instead of symbiosis or mutual interdependence. So he's talking about first lesson is this, second lesson is this, third lesson is this, and final lesson is this, that when a crisis strikes complacent investors, it causes much more disruption than when it strikes battle-scarred ones. So it says that no doubt we are moving into, the world has moved into commercial aspect of globalization. Most of the countries are doing fine, but every time there is no guarantee that peace would be forever, and that the danger of war is looming over us. And that's why he has given a slight hint that how come war can play a spoil sport and probably will disrupt the complacent investors more rather than the already scarred ones, or the battle scarred ones, or the weak ones, etc. So last two paragraphs very important because deliberately we framed few questions based on these two. So let's see what we have question wise. It's a very interesting question. We have fused two terms, chimericans. So do we know the meaning of, guys, chimera? Otherwise it's a word, dictionary word from English language. Chimera or chimera, chimerical, it means imaginary. So we have here created two imaginary so-called areas, East Chimericans, West Chimericans. So primarily East versus West, just to confuse you, just to kill your time. So East and West. As per the passage, East, Chinese side, they believe in saving, and West, they believe in spending. So we have to pick up. So now the answer, am I clear about the answer? I've already given you the hint. That's why I generally read the passage first for you people rather than straight away coming on to the questions. So which particular option you picked up for question number 62, or were you able to think about this, or you were not able to think any answer? Snigdha, saving, spending? Yeah. Selling and manufacturing. So going by the, because manufactured people are manufacturing also and they are selling also. So it cannot be about second task, second option done by the same side. So cannot be the answer. Making and financing. Making is fine. Financing is one of the aspects, again done by the same country, same side of the Chimerica. Yeah, it has to be 62nd question. It's not borrowing and lending. So they were not, Chinese were not interested in borrowing. Instead, they invited people and they attracted FDI, foreign direct investment. So first is also gone. So answer is fourth. Am I clear, guys? Prashant, did you get this? Why this third option is even wrong? Because done by the same side, and we are interested in knowing the both the sides. So coming on to next question, let's say. So if you have to insert one more line between last and the second last paragraph, which that would be? Now here, while reading last two paragraphs, we found that the author is somewhat inclined about, someone inclined towards warlike situation, or if everything is going fine, but because of these trade disputes, etc., etc., just to who will be the which economy would be the strongest, or just to be in race for the strongest. So Ajay, you were confused while attempting this question. That's why I read these last two paragraphs, because the last two, it's very important for us to understand the gist of all the paragraphs and the entire passage as well. So you need to pick up the choice where it has been highlighted that how come this, because if I look at the two paragraphs, the last two paragraphs, we see that right now in the first three paragraphs, author has highlighted economy, the strength and how Chinese people attracted, Chinese government did to attract, etc., etc. And the last two paragraphs is talking about the warlike situation. So we need to insert something which will give us a precursor for the last two paragraphs. Getting my point, guys? That why we need to pick up the choice, the answer choice, because we need to pick up the choice where it can create, where it can have basis for the readers to understand that war can happen, the situation like this can happen. So we need to pick up the things where this can a choice can form the basis for this particular situation, and fortunately the choice is 1. Am I clear, guys, about this question? Otherwise this is very lengthy question, but easy. I would say that easy. I don't know why you have given this as. So what is the point the author is making the last paragraph of the passage? Last paragraph he says that lesson number 1, lesson number 2, lesson number 3, lesson number 3. So he is making us understand the lessons we should learn so as to avoid something, obviously conflict. That's why he is. So what was your choice, guys? As far as what is the point author is making the last paragraph of the passage, he has given us first lesson, second, third, fourth, final lesson, etc. So that is that we can make out conflicts are inevitable. See what author is was trying to make us understand. Author means implications, implied by the author, and first option is an inference. Conflicts are inevitable. This we can make out easily. This we can make out easily. Now the trick number 2 says that conflicts are inevitable. Second says natural resources have always been the cause of most conflicts. So don't you think that first and second choice almost referring to the same idea? Just think over. Take your time. Take your time. So don't you think that first and second pointing to the same essence, context? So there cannot be two correct options. So, and fourth is too narrow. It is not being taught about in the last paragraph. Most big financial crisis just came seldom enough to be beyond the living memory of today bankers. We are not talking about the bankers. So first and second almost the same. There is one of the tricks that we apply, generally we should apply to negate, to cancel choices if we are stuck between two close options, because first and second too close. But these two are inferences. We've been asked what author was trying to make, the point he was trying to make. Getting my point? We should understand the question also. So you have written 87 end. So you have written no. What is no? 12140011187. So you have asked question number 63 also, but we already picked up 63. So am I clear about this question, guys? So answer to this question is third. The study of financial history is justified because he has given that how come and how any financial let's say position or the strength of any country or economy can create problems for the country itself and rest of the world as well. Am I clear, guys? I picked up this question just to make you understand that why 1 and 2, no doubt they seem to be very close options, and why these two options are wrong. Should I move ahead, guys? Press yes. Should I? Okay. Now this is a very interesting passage. It is about keeping neutral attitude towards widows' home and regarding the question of widows' marriage. So passage, I would say that again, easy to moderate, to understand. But the questions, no doubt, were very, very tricky, very tricky. So interesting, again, interesting read. But the questions were a little bit of. So we should understand the flow of the passage as well. Amrita, this paper was tough, not tough in terms of let's say if I say that we are not able to understand this, the questions set were very tricky. Very close options were set, and primarily in this paper we tried to check your inference drawing abilities, your ability to draw inferences. So primarily the question, the verbal section, I would say that based on inference drawing, no doubt. a few of the questions were very easy even. Because of this 23 moderate question, moderate means there are 50% chances that we'll get this question right, 50% chances that we'll get this question wrong, any question, medium questions wrong. So let us quickly rush through this passage. It said, although we had tried to keep thoroughly neutral attitude, people did not believe in our statement. Very important line. Neutral means nor in favor of, nor neither in favor of nor against widow marriage. That means neutral. Am I clear about the word neutral? Neutral has some purpose in this passage. And he says that people did not believe in our statement. So at that particular time, where the timing, if I talk about the era, it is about 1870s or something, or early 1900 something. So people were not so open about this particular idea of widow's marriage. So people did not. That's why people did not believe in our statement. This was probably why the growth of institution was very slow, because of the orthodoxy shown by the people society there at that time. And it was good that growth of institution was slow. But he says that author says that this was fine that institution grew slowly and that time, and it was good that so people got the time. The workers associated with this, they also got the time, and this particular speed checked their patience, etc., because they were able to manage everything because of the slow pace. Now, second paragraph, when numbers began to grow, everything was going smoothly. Then there arose a storm, not from the orthodox side. Very important, not from the orthodox side. Let it be of society or of the side of the people managing this institution, but from the side of reformers. Reformers means people who wanted the society to change, to accept this. Several reformers of the extreme wing, extreme means very fundamentalist in their approach, were dissatisfied with my or the author's method of working along the line of least resistance. Line of least resistance means he kept neutral attitude. So reformers were saying that they were not happy with the attitude shown by the author towards this widow marriage, etc. And he has explained in the next paragraph that why he kept neutral attitude. And the connection of, he has mentioned the connection of this third line I'm reading, fourth line of this, where I'm moving my cursor right now, the connection of Parvati Bhai Athawale as a head of widow's home, accentuated means amplified, increased the feeling of reformers. How come? She came up with a fiery speech. And this lady has been described as Mrs. Athawale has been mentioned before as a head of widow's home, tonsured widow, means with cut hair, and had stuck to her orthodoxy, means very orthodox lady. The climax reached when she made a fiery speech at provincial social conference held in Mumbai at the end of the 1904. Some of the criticizing reformers, some of their actions, and especially the women of Bombay for their love of finery. Finery means expensive ornamental jewelry, clothing items, etc. So reformers took this to heart, and they got sensitive over this particular matter, and they even recommended that lady should be removed. The last line of the second paragraph I'm reading, I warned her, means matter was not so serious. Had the matter been very serious, the author would have removed this lady from this post. I warned her and left the matter without giving much attention to all this effervescence. Effervescence would mean here the agitation or the disturbance, something like this. Am I clear, guys? So the cause of widow marriage was very dear to me, but author himself at a personal level, he was totally devoted to this cause. He was not at all against, but because of the society or the attitude shown by the people at that time, he kept a neutral attitude. So he also mentioned that people at that time, Maharashtrian. So there were only 35 marriages. I'm writing last 3 lines. The reform movement was so weak. Now we will use this, we'll create one question, and we have created one question of this week. Person prepared to educate their wards were so few that it would be suicidal to criticize the humble efforts of those who were doing little things and treading the path, let it be slowly even, and were advancing some distance at least in desired direction. So those who wanted to go faster were welcome to do so, but it would be well for those whom they thought to be weaker to go slowly. Weaker means being referred to the people. Means at that time society was not so open, so people were reluctant about this idea of leave aside marriage. They were not even convinced about educating widows. So that's why is one of the reasons that we can make out easily that why he kept neutral attitude, or why he recommends that, why he recommended that people should go slowly, and he thanked those people that who went slowly towards that particular direction. Am I clear about a little bit of passage, guys? Let's move on to, let's see what we can solve even without reading. So which of the following behaviors would be in keeping with Mrs. Athabale's character are described in the second paragraph? Now just try to recall. A very orthodox, tonsured widow. She, now the choice number 2, starting with the word ensure that all women who are orthodox get their heads tonsured. So there's no mention that she would insist on this or emphasize. She continued, the ensures, choice rejected. Third choice, she continued staying at her husband's home. There's no point that we can think of, we can make out this. She would continue dressing up in orange finery. She was dead against this kind of behavior. That's why she criticized ladies at that time, and this was not taken in a good spirit by the rest of the audience. Am I clear? 3 rejected. Orthodox widow at that time, we can easily make out they used to eat alone, and they not to touch the utensils by other people also did not touch the things used by widows at that time. So she never partook of food, exchange, eaten food or drink touched by widow who had remarried. So very orthodox lady, stuck to her orthodoxy means, so she was also not in favor of remarriage. So a little bit of inference, little bit of vocab based question. Am I clear, guys? So the 72nd question, I don't know why people picked up this question as, marked this question as moderate or very easy, but we have got 2 very close options as used in the last line of the second paragraph. Which of the following could replace effervescence? So can we make out? It cannot be bubbly joy. It cannot be light-hearted banter is joke. So second, fourth rejected. Strident means very harsh criticism. Yes, the only hint is frivolous. Frivolous means insignificant agitation. Had the matter been so important, author would have told the person, the lady, to leave the post. Frivolous, the key word here is frivolous, means insignificant. So it was not silent criticism. Is equal to effervescence as per the passage. So you all are born genius, guys. You got this question correct. So what was the reason for neutrality that widow's home had on widow remarriage? A little tricky question. Thinking we need to switch on our thinking cap while answering this question. So very few people were interested in education, widow's education, what to talk about, not to talk about their remarriage. Very few were interested in even educating widows. So that's why author was compelled. What was the reason? That neutrality. So somewhere in between he says that author mentioned that he was not against, he was devoted to this cause, but fourth is the right answer. Very good, guys. So let me check why other choices are wrong. The term of reference for home strictly restricted its activity only to educational domain. No, it talks about remarriage. It's not only about educating widows. First rejected, it's half true only. To make haste slowly as far as reforms on widows remarriage was concerned. Very close option, very close option. But we are talking about neutral attitude. We're not talking about the pace. It is fine in itself, the choice, but it's not what we have been asked. Therefore rejected. Amrita, that's why you picked up 2. But am I clear about now? Amrita, now you understand that why 2 is not what has been asked. It is right in itself, correct in itself. But why it's not the point why author kept neutral attitude. Neutral attitude means not openly saying anything against remarriage, not going in favor of remarriage, widow's remarriage. Amrita, am I clear about the word neutral? Because without understanding the neutral word, we cannot answer this question. Because in the last few lines he has mentioned that there were only few people who were interested in educating even widows. So society, we are talking about neutral means because of society. It's not about some people were making this progress slowly towards this goal. Aparna, am I clear? Aparna, it is, yeah, it's last mentioned. We have to, what was the reason? We have been asked this. This is inference based question. This we have to make out that society at the last, that time found it much easier to accept widows' education. So in the last few lines, it is clearly mentioned that there were only few people. So from there we can, the question is, what was the reason that for neutrality of the widow's home on widows' remarriage? People at that time were reluctant to even educate. So what to talk about marriage, remarriage? Am I clear, Aparna? Very tricky question. So we have to be careful about what we have been asked, and generally we keep the few of the options very close, and some of the options are very correct as per the passage, but that is not what generally we ask. So this is one of the ways to create wrong choices. Most of us, I think, picked up second option. Am I correct, guys? Okay, let's move on to next. What we have, referring to the last line of the passage, what does author refer to when he mentioned the weaker? The weaker should go slow. Means very few people at that time came forward to educate, to take the help of this institution for the widows to go for education or to educate them, taking help, guidance, counseling, etc. So weaker would refer to the people, obviously the guardians of widows who got them admitted to the widow's home. So he has mentioned that during these 30-40 odd years there were only 35 widow remarriages. So you can very well imagine that weaker being referred to those people. So he has appreciated that let weaker go slow, but at least they are moving. At least they were moving at that time. So Ajay, you picked up 2. The reformers who pushed. We are not talking about the reformers. Cannot be termed as weaker. This is technically wrong. Reformers, had they been weak, they haven't pushed. They haven't wouldn't have pushed for the reforms. Reformers cannot be termed as the weaker. Am I clear, guys? Ajay and 121400187, kind of American code. So just pick up that weaker, reformers. So weaker and reformer totally opposite. Reformer means change agent. So change agent cannot be termed as weaker. Picked up this word. So now moving on to, let's change the topic a little. Again, grammar based question. The question consists of 4 or 5 sentences. 75th question based on grammar. So what about this question? So did you get this question correct, guys? I picked up this question for the sake of picking only. Otherwise, grammar, even after taking the exam, we can understand, we can go through the explanation and we can easily understand, and we can find out our own silly mistakes, that why at that time we were not able to pick up the right answer option. So in this, C, D and E were wrong. What is C? Simple though it may seems, after may, the form should be plural. What do we say? God bless you, God blesses you. It is subject to our agreement. We say God bless you, not blesses. May God help you, may God helps you. Obviously help you. So seems is wrong here. And what's the problem with D? Before superlative, it has to be the, definite article the. So here, before the word hardest, it has to be the. And what's the problem with E? The advice established cartoonists give is that, because you can sketch now you. With the you, the object form should also be you. If the subject form is one, then the object form should also be one. For example, if I say one should serve his country, it is wrong. Grammatically it's wrong, meaning wise it's fine, but one should serve one's country. One should treat oneself. So with you, we cannot use the word one. you can sketch, but don't take it for granted that you will become a cartoonist. Either both the words should be you, or both the words should be one. Proper pronoun. It's called pronoun balance. Am I clear, guys? Okay, let's move ahead. I think Mehak, Amrita. Okay, I picked up this very lengthy sentence arrangement question. Question number 80. So what was the answer? So did you get this question correct, guys? Absolutely fine, Ajay. What is your name? 1214001187. What's your name? Okay, Hitesh. I think you were there in earlier sessions also. Were you there in earlier sessions also? Analysis? Hitesh? I think first or second session? No? It's your first time? Okay, so how is session going? So do you find this interactive? Okay, fine. Thank you, Hitesh. So yeah, and this question can be solved by by linking keywords. This is one of the tricks that generally I tell my students. There are 4 or 5 tricks. One is to find the opener. Second is to find the closure. How to find the closure. Third is to find mandatory pairs, and to find mandatory pairs, we have got 3 or 4 sub tricks: noun, pronoun, cause, effect, contrast, chrono pairing, and finally the keyword link method. Now keyword link is very useful, no doubt in CAT, but as in XAT as well. Keyword link, we can link the keywords present in the sentences. So opener is C. International courts have devised have also, and courts have made a valid and reasonable 3-part test to determine. So C has to be opener. Unfortunately, in 3 options it is given C, but we can check before we move on to C as an opener. Let's read D. Why D can't be an opener? D says the problem is that. Now before this problem, very often if there is something mentioned, but a problem regarding what, there has to be something before for which this problem word has been used. So D is a little weak when it comes to opener. C therefore opener, but we can apply tricks only if we read all the sentences. The step number 1 is read all the sentences very carefully. If you're not aware of tricks, please refer to go back to your textbooks or the books whatever you're using right now. In my classes I generally tell my students all the tricks, and that's why they find it very easier. We have got 6 or 7 tricks. C is an opener here. After C, now we have 2 options, CA, and one says CB. What A? C says international courts have devised a valid, reasonable 3-part test to determine whether restriction is justified. That restriction must have clear legal basis. There are 3 reasons he has given. Now we are talking about the restriction. B says finally, so it cannot be B after C, and so it has to be CA. With the word finally, we have rejected this CB choice, third choice rejected. C is an opener, either CA, CA. Now CA, CA forms pair. Now we are left with only 2 options. Amit, I'll take up tricks session for you people only next time. Not next time, in this session we cannot pick up the tricks. But whenever we do have videos, I think, uploaded. Just visit my reading comprehension and sentence arrangement workshop video on YouTube. You will find tricks there. Am I clear, Amit? If you are not able to, then I'll again upload this video for you people. So now we are left with CAE, CAB. Now B again says finally. There cannot be finally immediately. So CAE is the best choice. Mandatory trio CA questions solved within 40 seconds. Amit, you should search reading comprehension workshop, RC workshop taken by me. There I have I think I have highlighted 3 or 4 tricks to solve parajumble questions. Let's move ahead. Now the last passage, I'll just rush through now. We are left, we are already, the time is over. So it talks about multitasking. The passage was about multitasking, and author of the passage was not in favor of multitasking. It says that no doubt we feel that we have achieved something and we have done so many things, but at the end of the day, our brain is completely exhausted, tired, and we are not able to achieve anything significant. Word is significant. So he has given example. First paragraph, he says that earlier we have several different people doing different things for us. Now we have got only one thing, and this one particular thing is smartphone, just like Swiss knife. Second paragraph, and we do most of things ourselves, and we love doing. It's not that it's compulsion or it's by force. We all love doing so many things just with the help of cell phones. So third paragraph, the last first line, but there is fly in the ointment. Fly in the ointment means there is twist in the story. It is not fine. It's not a good idea to go for multitasking. No doubt, multitasking is considered one of the a very potent weapon in corporate industry, but actually it is harmful as per, and research also has been conducted as mentioned in the passage. It's not of any use multitasking, no doubt. Sometimes we have to, but it's not good for brain also, body also, and for the organization also. We should not multitask. Okay, so moving on to, it can be inferred from the passage. So answer is, can we answer this question? Hitesh, you marked fourth. Fourth, human beings when given numerous small tasks tend to fall into disruptive pattern that doesn't allow us to see the bigger picture. See, first of all, we are not interested in looking at the bigger picture as per the passage. The only the two keywords, weak keywords, disruptive pattern. Its pattern is not disruptive, well thought of sometimes, most of the times, but the bigger picture. The point is not that we want to see the bigger picture, that the point is, which author has made the passage is highlighted, that we love doing this. It's not about ignoring or seeing bigger picture. So fuzzy thinking, the fuzzy is very strong word here. So let's go back to the passage. I'll show you the line where this is. So it's a third paragraph. After although we think that we are doing several things at once, multitasking is one powerful and diabolical illusion. It's an illusion. So MIT's people, they also say that we are not wired to multitask well. So we have to pay cognitive costs. And it is somewhere, yeah, okay. Coming on to the last paragraph, multitasking has been found to increase the production of the stress hormone cortisol as well as flight or fight hormone adrenaline, which overstimulates your brain and cause mental fog or scrambled thinking. Means you're not able to think properly. From there we have picked up this word fuzzy thinking. Am I clear, Hitesh? Okay. Let's say your I think last question of the day. You are provided with this following statement, and as per the passage we have to assess. So from the context of the passage, author is likely to present evidence for his main argument. Main argument was that he is not in favor of multitasking because it doesn't take us anywhere. We are not able to pick up anything significant or reach anything significant, and brain has to pay the cost, and you're not able to understand the things clearly. Ultimately the end result is zero. If you read all the sentences, everywhere you will find that the subject is doing multitasking, and will not reach anywhere. So all the points are in favor of author that multitasking is actually harmful rather than being beneficial. So that's why fourth, all of the above, if you read. So again, last passage is about again education, which is talking about curiosity. We should encourage curiosity. but education system is made in such a way, and elders are so arrogant, so whimsical, so skeptical and reluctant, stubborn, that they will not allow kids to think freely. They'll not try to satisfy their curiosity. They're not able to think beyond certain lines. The purpose of education is to get marks, to impress others, your near dear ones, and this is how we try to curb curiosity. Author is in favor of curiosity. We should do every possible effort to inculcate, to encourage, to motivate kids to become curious, and with curiosity is the best teacher as per the nutshell in this passage. So let me rush through. So all of the following characters are the bright child except. Bright child means he will love to take challenges as per the passage. Except means wrong, and any poor kid or not so bright kid will not go for challenges. He would be interested, he would be satisfied whatever he has because he knows his limitations, and therefore will not be able to pick up the challenges. So third is wrong. If he doesn't feel he knows exactly what an experience will be like, he wants no part of it. This is actually the trait as per the passage shown by the not so bright kids. Therefore, second, he is willing to go ahead on the basis of incomplete understanding. This is actually one of the characteristics shown by the Prashant, bright child, that if he is not able to understand something clearly, still he will want to go ahead. Therefore, second is wrong. Sorry. 95th, one of the most interesting question of the entire verbal section. A teacher once said, teacher is saying this, but my children like to have questions for which there is only one answer. What would be the repartee, that repartee's excuse that author made to this teacher, or the answer, the way he answered? So your guess, guys. One question, one answer means kid is not at all curious. Means even teachers are not also. Because the same teacher would be teaching in school also, and in school our teachers and education system will try to curb this curiosity. Means we don't want to entertain the question which has got so many answers or so many possibilities. So what the answer should be kind of sarcastic, because ultimately author has ridiculed the system. Hitesh, you didn't understand this question. One teacher once said, his statement was, but my children like to have questions for which there is only one answer. Means no creativity, no independent thinking, no ifs and buts, no possibilities, etc. Means no creativity, no independent thinking. Answer should be straight. This is a question, this is the answer. This is a question, this is the answer. Am I clear about the Hitesh? Am I clear about the question, Hitesh? Okay, now what should be the answer? Read the fourth option. Your children do, and by a mysterious coincidence so do you. Because the teacher himself is following this particular mindset, so he should not complain that his kids would like to ask questions for which there's only one answer. So that's what he actually is, the teacher himself is following and executing this in the school, his day-to-day job life. Second is too far-fetched, Prashant. The main issue is not one answer but one question. You have to give answer. Repartee. Do we know the meaning of repartee exact? Repartee means quick and witty reply. It has to be witty. Second is too serious. Yep, Amrita answering cleverly. So it has to be witty, a little bit of humorous. Your children do, and by mysterious coincidence so do you, because you also follow the same, and you generally inculcate this among kids during teaching. So no, there should not be any kind of surprise that you are complaining this. My children like to have. Am I clear, guys? Now the time has come to wind up the session. So see you next time around. Stay focused, stay calm. All the best. And should I wind up this session now? Any question, guys? Okay, see you all. All the best for rest of the exams. Yes, Surya. Should I wind up now? So were you there entire session? Okay, you all are welcome. Hitesh, right now I'm running out of time. Question number 99. Let me check. What was question number 99? Okay, 99. Very easy question. It is actually critical reasoning based. It says that if we reduce the salary of the person, we'll be able to increase the profit. We have to go against. He says that workers will not be interested if you decrease the salary of the person or the workers. They will lose morale. Morale will come down and they're not able to perform better, and therefore quality will come down. Fourth, rest, I think they are strengthening. Decreasing crude oil prices will have domino effect and have lowered the manufacturing cost for all business owners, thereby enabling manufacturers to sell their product at cheaper price than they sold previously. So first of all, we should know the domino effect. Do we know domino effect, Hitesh? The assumption, see, strengthening or weakening, if you know the critical reasoning basics, strengthening or weakening is done on the basis of assumption. It is not that we can pick up any choice, ABC choice, to weaken. Assumption here is Mahesh Industry manufactures the same electrical machinery as Suresh Industries. In terms of percentage of manufacturing cost, labor wage cost, the things revolve around labor wage. It's not about the raw material cost. Am I clear, Hitesh? So strengthening or weakening is done on the basis of assumption. Things revolve around. So I'll advise you to go through the basics. Again, if you haven't gone through, then you can log on to our YouTube and I took this CR critical reasoning workshop there. You can visit my workshop and we'll learn few basics and how to handle this question. Am I clear, Hitesh? You can log on to our YouTube channel and learn few basics. There I have mentioned, discuss all the tricks related to critical reasoning. Okay guys, see you next time around. Bye.